It's another year, another assault weapons ban proposal, though this one is a little different because instead of just banning certain makes and models outright, it would change the requirements for gun manufacturers as a whole and targets all gas-operated firearms. Stay tuned for the details. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Before I get into the details, this video is brought to you today by Blackout Coffee Company. Today is the last day to get your buy two, get one free deal. They have great coffee, great values, and have been supporting both my channel and the Second Amendment for a long time. They even have special partner roasts that benefit the Firearms Policy Coalition and gun owners of America directly. Use the code CYBERWEEK at blackoutcoffee.com/LibertyDoll to get some great deals on coffee roasts that help support your rights. And because I have to say this every few months, Blackout Coffee is not Black Rifle Coffee. They are two different websites, two different companies. For some reason, I have to say that every few videos. Also, as it is now December, that means that voting is officially open for the Gundies Awards. So big shout out to everyone who nominated me for Top Voices of the 2A and Female Creator of the Year. You can vote every day and cast your votes at the link down in the description. Okay, so the gas-operated semi-automatic firearm exclusion bill, or GOSAFE for short, is a prime example of naming a law for what you want people to think it does, as opposed to what it actually does. Inflation Reduction Act. This bill is sponsored by Senator Angus King from Maine, who had been hinting at such a bill since the tragic events that unfolded in Lewiston, though he claims he has been working with Martin Heinrich of New Mexico on the bill since 2019. He says that spending this much time on the bill and focusing on the functionality of firearms rather than specific features will make sure it has no loopholes and will garner bipartisan support. Basically, the bill would ban the sale, transfer, and manufacture of all semi-auto firearms capable of accepting a detachable magazine. It would also limit rifles to 10 rounds and handguns to 15 in the attempt to force would-be evildoers to take the time to reload and struggle to do so. Like it flat out says in the press release that they don't want people reloading. So I guess that's one way to do it. Though we all know that if there's a will, there's a way. It bans bump stocks, institutes a federal buyback program, as if you bought them from the federal government in the first place, and would have a grandfathering clause for anyone who already owns a banned gun, though it would also limit transferring that firearm if you die, which King says, in combination with the buyback, would prevent Americans from stockpiling banned guns. Because obviously, if you know something is going to be banned, what do? You go out and buy it before the ban happens. This has been happening since the dawn of gun bans. But a tricky little piece of it is that by requiring newly manufactured guns to function in a certain way, it also suggests that every new model and design would have to be approved before being manufactured. And I'm sure that approval process would be efficient and expedient, like everything else the government does. King says that nothing in the bill will affect traditional gun culture or the Second Amendment, pointing to state laws in Maine that limit hunting to 5 rounds plus 1 in the chamber. Heinrich says that the bill balances Second Amendment rights and efforts to reduce crime, saying that he believes it properly differentiates between firearms used in mass casualty events and those used by law-abiding citizens for self-defense and hunting. Except for the fact that pretty much everything the bill would ban has already been deemed protected and legal by the Supreme Court. The fact that it's an election year and the current makeup of Congress makes pro-gun outlets say that the bill has no chance of passing, at least in the current Congress, and that might certainly be the case. But there is a tiny little line in Maine's Portland Press Herald that is concerning some folks. Now, it doesn't technically really have anything to do with this bill, but is about the coverage of this bill. In the article, Senator Collins, also of Maine, has given the bill her support, and also says that she supports legislation that would direct the military to use state crisis intervention laws. There is no other information offered on this, just a little snippet, It doesn't seem to be part of this bill specifically, and there is debate as to whether that means that the military would be able to remove firearms from servicemen deemed dangerous, or if it's that the military would be used to enforce red flag orders. The first option makes a lot more sense, but still, the wording, and at least how this press outlet is talking about it, is pretty concerning. The Lewiston shooter should have been, by law, a prohibited person after spending 2 weeks in an inpatient mental health facility. He had also made violent threats against a National Guard base, and both the New York and Maine state police were aware of him and the threats. But just like in just about every other major incident, something fell through the cracks somehow. And instead of analyzing why and how that keeps happening, politicians are instead looking for ever more creative ways to punish the millions of gun owners that never commit a crime. Everything about this bill is unconstitutional and again has more than one Supreme Court decision to back that up. Nevertheless, bonus points for creativity, I guess. Apparently someone was listening when we keep saying that cosmetic features don't affect the function of a firearm, because now they actually are going after the function of the firearm. Who'da thunk it? Anyways, I am pretty sure that this bill is DOA. It has 0 GOP co-sponsors, but there was that whole bipartisan Safer Communities Act, so you never know. There could be someone signing on. I don't think it'll be enough, but it will certainly give some hints as to who maybe should not get back in Congress after their elections. That is it for this one, guys. You know all of the algorithm drill. Please don't forget to check out today's sponsor and go to the Gundies link down in the description to cast your votes. And as always, thanks for tuning in and happy shooting.